Well, gang, there she is. The last and final look at my old house. Today I closed. It's December 4th. I'll probably be uploading this long after December 4th, but today is December 4th, and I officially sold my old house, my first ever house. As sad as I should be, I'm happy where I'm at now, and the suburbs of Fort Worth is just no place for an angler. There's a lot of Great Lakes around here, but you guys don't realize, like, I'd have to park my boat outside. I couldn't even fit the Land Cruiser in the garage. The only thing I could fit in the garage was the whip and my kayaks and a few other things, but apparently went to a good family. There you have it. That's how we're starting today's video off. Sold a house. Woo! Before we head out of my old stomping grounds, there's something I want to do. When I was cleaning up my house, my old house, I found a bunch of lures that were collecting dust that just hadn't gotten used pretty much ever, and I'm gonna put it somewhere near this creek. I kind of feel like this is like technically littering, but I'm hoping that someone comes by and grabs these lures. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Spinner baits. Got some Guggen shades, some polarized glasses, Mystery Tackle Box Pro. So it's not like this is junk. This is really good stuff I just don't really use. If you guys do find this box, be sure to post it on Insta or Twitter or something like that and tag me. I'm very curious as to who gets this. Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
David.
David, nice to meet you. I guess I won't post a story. This works out perfect. So I just got a bunch of baits from my move. Yeah. Do you guys want them?
Sure.
Hell yeah, that's easy.
Dude, I've been watching you for years.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. Well, this was easy. I don't even have to post an Instagram story now. Dude, they're just gonna collect dust, and you guys will use them more than I. You should grab that real quick. Thanks, bro. Cool. Well, I'm peacing out. Nice to meet you. Oh, you guys want a picture?
Yeah, can I get a picture?
Yeah, absolutely. What are the odds? That's so funny. All right, well, that was easy. Okay, let's head out of here. I'll meet you guys back at the ranch. We're still moving in. Things are not looking too great on the move-in front, but I just like dealing with my junk personally. As you can see, it's going very well. Very, very well. Today's video is not to show you guys my messy patio or show you where I used to live, but it's to explore and investigate what is behind my house. I'm not sure if you guys saw it in the first new house tour, the dream house tour, but there's like pretty much like a mini junkyard back there. And I swear all my life, I have not been back there to investigate or check out what truly lies behind my house. I don't really know the whole gist as to whether or not the previous owner is going to come back and grab those, or if he just wants them there. I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it eventually, but today we're just going to explore the mini junkyard behind my crib. There's a lot to go over, and we're probably going to find some pretty interesting stuff. So, Lucky, how you doing, girl? How you doing, Millie? What you girls doing? What you girls doing? You're so pretty, girl. We're gonna eat real quick and we'll meet you guys back behind the mini junkyard. I'm very excited for this. Thirsty pups. All that wrestling. Yep. You guys dehydrated. Good news, I just called the previous owner. I don't really know the whole legality side of things, but I just want to be a good person. They have a lot of stuff, or at least they had a lot of stuff on this property. They moved most of it, but what they left us is this nice little junkyard. Everything that is here is not mine. I think there's some sort of law that maybe states that it could be mine, but I want to be a good person, and I'd want someone to do this for me. So they have a few weeks or a month to get this stuff off the land, but for now, we're just gonna check it out to see what's behind here. He also did say if there's anything that I wanted or liked, it could be up for negotiation. So if I see something I like, maybe we buy it. It's kind of like a, I don't know, what is that called? Like American Pickers almost? American Pickers, but in my own backyard. There we go. Full disclosure, I've owned this place for almost a month now. I've never been back here. It's kind of ridiculous. So there's two sheds back here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, they're moths. I thought they were hornets, dude. You jumped too, didn't you? I thought they were hornets. Ooh, lots of moths. Wow, holy shit. Dude, check this out. There's not a whole lot of light in here. This goes back a ways. This is a huge shed. It's also probably pretty new too. They built the house in 2015, so this couldn't be any older than that. There's some lumber up there, a bunch of paint. I'm guessing this is from the house. That's nice to have. Nothing super interesting in the shed, but this is good. Let us know, what should we turn the shed into? Maybe beer pong in here? Ooh. Beer pong, fishing, deal thing. We need to get some electricity going though. That's a must.
Some insulation.
Yeah, some insulation too. All right, see y'all.
It's a little dark in here.
A little stinky. Remember Alex Parr, KP Basson? Was that his channel? I forget his channel name. Anyway, he could live out there. Alex, if you're looking for a place to live, $10 a month, hit me up, call me, you have my number. You guessed it, another shed, a little bit smaller though. You guys ever play Luigi's Mansion, where you like open up the doors and it's like really nerve-wracking? You just don't know what's on the other side. Ready? Oh, yeah, sweet. Same scenario. Wow, metal shelves. That's pretty cool. Tons of places to put shit. The good thing is I have a lot of shit. So this is pretty much ideal for me. If I fill out the workshop, which I highly doubt I will, and if I do I have a problem, I can put my stuff in here. But this is cool to have, I guess. I don't know, how much stuff do they have? I think it was just a family of 4 or 3. So, I don't know, maybe he was handy. He had crafts, arts and craft. Maybe he was into collecting toy model trains and this was where he put all of his, I don't know. Just taking guesses here. First time ever going in there. Also locked too, which is nice. I'm gonna put something like tools or equipment in. Then you come on over here. This is where things get a little bit interesting. Eric, don't even have to bring your own bed frame. We got you covered, dude. It's a little bit rusty. Hopefully you have your tetanus shot, but you're ready to go, man. This apartment's turnkey. Have you been back here yet? No, you, of course not. If you haven't, I definitely haven't. Or if I haven't, then you definitely haven't. Wow. Boards are interior. Yeah, old El Camino. That's fucking cool. Damn, I wish you could just, I wish the previous owner was just like, dude, take it, I'll have it. I don't mind it, I love junk. Especially when it's old cars like this. That doesn't work. Shocker, no steering wheel. So it's missing a few things, but it's an El Camino, it's a classic. Got some natural light cans in here. This is the beer you would find in an El Camino too, Natty Light. Of course, go figure. Cool, so we've got a El Camino on the property. These are such badass cars, especially the Super Sports, the SS's. There was actually one for sale by my old house. I almost bought it, but I'm like, dude, you don't need any more cars. You don't need any more boats. Stop it. And then right up against the El Camino, we got a Chevy C10. This one looks like it's actually in pretty good condition. Oh, that's okay. Back up. Where's he at? Where's he at? Ooh, that one had a stinger and it was big and it was black. It looked like it had a little pointy thing on its butthole. Okay, so the C10 is infested with wasps. We're gonna leave that alone, but the C10's in much better shape. The El Camino doesn't have headlights. Actually, you know what? No engine. There's no engine in the El Camino.
You could probably, I mean, if you bought it, you might be able to sell it.
I don't know, you guys in the comments would know better than I don't even think it has a transmission. No, it's completely gutted. Still cool though. It's basically a coupe with a truck bed. So crazy. And then this too, a C10, those are classics as well. C10's got a bunch of, the Chevy's got a bunch of stuff in the back. Look at this front end in here. I mean, dude, 90% of this is just trash, but there is some cool stuff in here. Is this it's an old, this one looks like it's got an engine, it's got interior, still, steering wheel, that's a plus. Then this is another old Chevy, I'm guessing. I don't know my trucks that well, but this one's old as hell too. I'm just waiting to get bit by a fucking snake, honestly. Still has a door handle. This is where you put your gas. You guys would have to let me know in the comments what truck this is. I'm pretty sure it's an old Chevy truck. I don't know cars that well, but I can appreciate them at the very least. I want to know what this is though. That's kind of the dead giveaway, the flaming bird on the back. So it's a Pontiac Firebird. That's even cooler, dude. That's like basically the Pontiac version of the Camaro, I think. Don't quote me on that. Well, I think what makes this cool is the fact that Pontiac's not around anymore. That's neat. Oh, I would love to have that. That'd be sweet. That'd be a project though. I mean, that would be a project and a half. Sorry, I'm like engrossed right now. I'm trying to talk to you guys and process this for myself. You guys let me know in the comments, which cars should we buy? What should we make a project out of? You let me know in the comments. Cliff, the previous owner, said that there were some things he would allow to part with, but there's some things that he wants to keep. I don't know specifically which is which, so I'm gonna wait for you guys to comment, then I'll text Cliff, let him know what I'm interested in, and maybe we'll start a car project on the channel. It wouldn't be me doing it. I have to find someone reputable to help me with it, but it'd just be a nice little addition, nice little series that we could do while also doing some fishing videos, you know what I'm saying? Pontiac, Chevy, and then Ford tractor. It's kind of confusing, is it not? Some of this stuff could have some potential. I just don't know, and that's where you guys will have to come into play. You'll have to let me know, but this is some sort of blue Ford tractor. It looks cool. It's a Ford 2000. I bet he wants to keep this. There's another Ford in here. This is the first, so you can see this car from the property. This is the one that I really want. I think this is the one that you guys probably want me to get as well. One of the most notorious two-door off-roading vehicles, machines, if you will, on the planet. That being a Ford Bronco with all-terrains already on it, but I'm sure those are dusted. Not a manual. I don't know what year this is. It's a Bronco XLT. A little bit of rust, but dude, it looks good. Like, it doesn't look awful. For a car that's probably been sitting here for quite some time, this thing looks half decent. So this is the one that I want you guys to tell me that I should get. Again, that's all up to our buddy Cliff. It's got a nice little front end here. A little rusty, but that'll buff. Nice. Some paint wear on the hood. Hey, you just gotta look past that. This is a beauty. Red cloth interior, or is that like it's like burgundy cloth interior. These things are sick, man. As a kid, I always wanted a Bronco. Cliff definitely had a thing for two doors, didn't he? The thing with this part of Texas too, like DFW, North Texas, is there's no salt on the roads, you're not close to the coast, so generally speaking, like most of these cars don't have that much surface rust. You'd think a car like this would just be rusted with rusty metal, but it doesn't look ridiculous. For a car that is this old, it's not bad. It like really is not that bad. It's gonna be the mechanical stuff that's gonna pose quite a difficult thing to get over, if these things even run. Okay, we've got 3 more cars over here. So let's do a quick tally as to how many cars on the property, not even counting mine. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's a 9th car behind us, which looks like it's probably in the best shape, but let's go peep these first. These do not look good. Maybe 50s, 60s. You guys are probably screaming in the comments, oh my God, John, that's a Chevy, whatever. I just don't know. The 4-door though, this thing was pretty messed up. You literally have weeds growing up through the engine bay. It's not ideal. I don't know the story behind all these vehicles, but I definitely will ask Cliff. This is so interesting. I couldn't even tell you what this is. Looks like maybe an old Camaro. Here, snaky, snaky, snaky. Oh, it's a rabbit. Holy shit, that scared the fuck out of me. That's the second scare for today's video. Completely harmless animals, and I just about shit myself. Moths and rabbits I have a huge phobia of, apparently. What is a Chevy 327? So Chevy 327, this had a V8 in it at one point in time. During its 8 years of production, the potent 327 engine became known among, so it's a small block. It's known as the Mighty Mouse. Extremely compact and efficient. Cliff was not a huge fan of the whole JDM car scene. He was domestic market all the way. Fun fact, Bronco, last time it was registered, March of 2006. So that's 14 years ago. Last car, then we'll go check out, because there's other stuff other than vehicles out here, but this is the last one I want to check out. This one's probably the newest. I don't know how much these go for now, but I just know that they're not super reliable. It's cool. So you got GM, you got Ford, and then Chrysler. I have really nothing to say about this. It'd be fun to rip around if it runs, if it works. This was driven recently, 2019. I'm guessing Cliff probably wants to keep this one, but if not, Cliff, I'll take it. I'll take it. I've got a dealership in my backyard. Yes, we've established that, but if you didn't notice, we also have a shipping container in my yard. I think he's got this stuff full of personal items. It's locked. Even if it wasn't locked, I wouldn't go in here. Yes, it's on my land. Yes, I own this property, but I want to be polite. I don't really care. It's not like he's taking advantage of this. He did say he wants to take this stuff off his land very soon. But I do hope he leaves a shipping container. That'd be kind of cool. Shanghai CMC. This is just a manufacturer. So this is made in China. Everything is made in China. Wonder what Ford this was. Probably an old like truck or something.
Yeah, like an old
F-150
for Expedition.
You guys need a door handle. $13 OBO. Also selling Peric's channel. Link down in the description. Peric's channel is cheaper than the door handle though, so good news on that. I mean, the bulk of what's back here is the cars. I'm sure there's some cool stuff in that, but we can't go in there for obvious reasons. We got the tractor. My grandfather used to have a ton of John Deeres, and his brother collects John Deeres. This is not a John Deere though, because it's blue. This is Ford. Hey, I got good news. As we were peeping the junk in my yard, I got a text from this guy. He's from South Africa. I think I told you about him in my last video. So in the next 3 days, he's gonna throw a digger on the land and we're gonna get started on this pond. He wants to make it deep. He said 10 to 12 foot deep. There may even be a little island. I'm so stoked. I've never done anything like this. We have a pond up in Maine, but that pond was already there. I've never really built a pond before, so I am extremely excited. So with that being said, drop us a comment. Let us know not only what we should scoop out of this beautiful yard of junk, but also let us know what we should do with the pond, as the building process is gonna start very soon, which I love. Very pumped about that. We didn't have trash for like 2 weeks because the company that we're hooked up with kind of sucks, so I'm gonna burn it. I mean, why not, right? On this channel, we preach safety first. That's exactly why I'm gonna light my pile of trash on fire with a flaming arrow. I was about to say, what's funny is this is not my first rodeo either. I've done this before, but I was half naked. There we go. Ready?
Yep.
That was uneventful. It's a little bit bigger than I thought. If you guys are wondering, no, that's not gas. I know, it seems like there'd probably be gas in that tank. It's just lighter fluid. Back when I thought the world was gonna end, I put a bunch of lighter fluid in a jerry can. Oh, what a beautiful fire. At least it was a beautiful fire. It was actually a very scary fire. I'm not gonna lie. I live in like the plains, so I keep forgetting that it's not like up in Maine where you've got trees surrounded everywhere. Don't have to worry about a huge forest fire, but there's, you know, grasslands out here. We do have a pretty low chance of fire right now, currently this week, so that's why I did the whole trash bonfire flaming arrow thing. Also, it's not very windy.
All right, go long.
Oh, me, look at, look at that.
Let her rip. Oh, there it goes. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes.
Another one.
Oh boy. Heads up.
Okay, that's close enough. Let's quit while we're ahead. We aren't the smartest folks, but at least we have fun.
Oh!
Do you guys want to see what a Cabela's bargain bin explosion looks like? Just take a look at the garage right now. She's not doing so good. Have you ever seen so much junk?
No.
In one pile? Yeah, you've got baits, tools, just random. As I said, the moving process has just not been fun. But next few days, I have some downtime, so I'm gonna organize all this. I'm actually gonna film the whole process, show you guys how I set up my future fishing man cave. Talking to Rackley, thinking about maybe putting some pegboards up here. I do have some of these, well, these aren't really pegboards. They're like called wall controls. I guess they are pegboards. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the 3 that I already had from my old house. And that's just gonna be a nice little way for me to like, not only hang on my tools, but just kind of hang on my lures. As you guys know, I used cork boards in the past. This is kind of what I used to do, but this is probably gonna change over to the wall control. But it's, you know, a nice, easy way to keep all my lures organized when they're not in the boxes or on the boat. The fire burnt down, we watched the Texas sunset, and now we're getting ready for round 3 of fishing a new lake in Texas. Hope you guys are kind of enjoying this kind of long drawn out series. I don't know how many episodes we're gonna do of fishing new lakes in Texas, but we are number 3 and we're going to a smaller lake tomorrow. A place was actually recommended to me by one of you. I met someone in Walmart, I forget the dude's name, but he's like, hey, since you live over here, you should fish this place. So that's exactly what we're gonna do tomorrow. It's not very big, it's not gonna take too long to fish, but if that doesn't do good, we'll go to some other spot. But as you can tell, I have a lot of rigging to do, and I definitely have my work cut out for me. So I'm gonna peace out, sign out, bid farewell to all you beautiful wieners out there. Thank you so much for staying tuned and watching yet another episode. The support has been absolutely unreal with the ranch videos, with fishing videos, with just like random boat talk videos. We are gonna do another boat talk very soon. We just are out of White Claws, so we gotta get some White Claws before we do that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I appreciate the view, and as always, folks, keep fishing, never stop.